Hello, my name is Michael Snyder and I'm the programmer for Pic2Mag, and this is the first training video of the free Pic2Mag version. In this video we're going to draw some magnetic dipoles using two discrete magnets, and then we'll process them. We'll start with two 10mm cube magnets that are placed 40mm apart on center, and they're locked into a magnet holder that is printed on a 3D printer. And we'll use a Gauss meter, and on top of the magnet holder and the magnets we'll put a 6mm piece of glass on top. And what that will do is that will make all of our measurements 6mm above the surface of the magnets. In this slide, we're taking a reading, a Gauss reading on the left-hand magnet, and it's reading 593 Gauss. And then we take the Gauss reading on the other side, the other magnet, and it's showing a negative, notice the sign here, 590 Gauss. Okay, so in order to use the free version of Pic2Mag, we need to download the free version of Pic2Mag. And you can find that at my website, which is at https://www.pic2mag.com. And near the bottom of my webpage you will find a free Windows XP version 109, and this is the original version of Pic2Mag. It was written in C++ and ran on Linux around 2014, and then I ported it from C++ to C#, and then during the pandemic I ported my program to Apple and to Google and to Microsoft. When you download the version 109, you will have a zip file that has 8 files. Now the only file we're really worried about is the one that says field calc. The other files there's a manual in there that's about 40 pages long. There's a patch file that you can run on Windows XP and Windows Vista in order to run the program. And there's some 3D files that can be used to calculate the magnetic fields for multiple levels. Right now we're just doing one level at a time, but you can actually do 100 levels at a time and plot that in 3D. And that was a new feature that was in version 109. Okay, so after you double click the field calc program, Windows will say, are you sure you want to do this? And if you hit details, you should see my name on the program. And so once you run it, you will see the title screen. It will say Pic2Mag's Field Calculator, Windows version 109. I wrote this particular one was released during the pandemic, which was 07/19/2020. Okay, don't let this screen intimidate you. I know there's lots of buttons and lots of parameters, but it's not hard at all to use. Once you use it a few times, it'll just make, I think it will make complete sense to anybody. Okay, so the most important actions are on the left hand side. They're open file, create drawing, calculate the field, plot ISO lines, plot compass needles, and then show both of the plots, both the ISO lines and the compass needles. So that's the main actions. Okay, on the lower left hand side are colors. Basically each color represents a different magnetic moment. So you can draw, for today's training video we're just using north and south, but there's at least 7 different other magnetic moments that you can use. And on the right hand side, the upper right hand side, these are parameters for the plots. Basically, these are just settings that you set one time, maybe once or twice during a session, and then you just leave them alone. The ISO lines are the number of lines in the plot. The line width is how thick those lines are. Sometimes it's useful to make the lines a little thicker or a little thinner. Grid size is the size of the compass needles that we will draw. Draw size is, and all these are in pixels, by the way. Pixels and millimeters are the same thing for Pic2Mag. So if it says draw size 12, it means draw size 12 millimeters, or you could say draw size 12 pixels. Thickness is the magnet thickness. Normally we set that to 1. We can set it to different values, but it takes longer to compute. Distance is how far away we are from the surface of the magnets, which is right now it's set to 3 millimeters, but during our slideshow we had the piece of glass was 6 millimeters, so we will set that to 6 millimeters in a little bit. Okay, on the right hand side, on the bottom, these are things you do at the end of the process. Mainly, if you hit save, you will save all your drawings, your plots. You can also save the vector fields. Pic2Mag uses vector fields to do all the plots. So if you draw a very complex magnetic array and process it, and say you draw a complex magnetic array and process it, and it takes 25 minutes to process. Well, the next day you don't have to redraw it. You can just import the whole vector field and start at that point. So it allows you to have multiple fields that you can use together at any time. Okay, so let's get things started with this basic check to make sure everything's working. So we'll click Create Drawing, and that clears the field. It clears the screen. And we're going to hit the north button, and we're going to hit the draw disk. I'm going to set the draw size to, let's set it to 10. And I'm going to put this magnet anywhere anywhere in the top. And then I'm going to come down, I'm going to click south, and I'm going to put that magnet anywhere, that pole. Okay, and next thing we'll do is we'll process it. In order to process it, we need to set the number of threads. Now, the free version supports 1 thread, 2 threads, 4 threads, and 6 threads. And this should match the number of threads that your processor supports. For example, I'm using a Windows 7 machine or i7 machine, and it has 8 threads. And my closest value is 6. So if I set that to 6, that will be the fastest, as fast as I can go on a free version. If you're using an older laptop that only has 2 cores, you may need to set it to 2. If you have a very old machine that only has a single processor, you need to set it to 1 thread. Getting this number of threads matching the processor is very important for speed. If you pick a higher value than what your computer supports, you will double the amount of time it takes to process it, and vice versa. If I picked one, I'm on a high-speed machine. If I picked 1 thread, then it would take very long to process. So we'll set the 6 threads, and we will hit the Calculate Field button. And you'll see this is a little status window on the right-hand side in the middle, and it keeps track of the time. And when it says wait, it means that it's processing a library file and saving the results for later use. In this case, it took 10 seconds to process these 2 magnets. And what you will see is these are ISO lines. They're lines of equal potential, which is another way of saying that they're showing magnitude. So the farther away you get, the weaker the field gets. And the closer to the magnet you get, the stronger the field gets. And these ISO lines come into green, teal, and yellow colors. And when they get close together, they basically make a green color. So the greener it is, the stronger the field. Now, the ISO lines show you magnitude, but they don't show you direction. So if we hit this plot compass needles, you'll see that we're showing field direction. The blue part of the compass needle points to the closest North Pole, and the red part of the compass needle points to the closest South Pole, which is exactly what you would expect for magnetism. And if we hit the show both button, then we can see both the magnitude and the field direction. We can see closer to the magnet you are, the stronger the field is, and we can also see that all the compass needles start at one pole and go around the screen and get back to the other pole, which is exactly what we would expect for a dipole field. If you click on the screen, you can see the actual vectors. You have, this is a vector reading in the I direction, the J direction, or in the K direction. And you can see if I click close to the magnets, it gets stronger. If I click way out here, it gets weaker. Okay, so that was just a basic drawing. There's a few other things we can do. Let's set the line width. Right now, these ISO lines are pretty thick. If I set this to a 2 and hit the button again, you'll notice the lines got thinner. And also I can reduce the number of lines. Let's go to 50. And we'll plot ISO lines. So now we have fewer lines, and they're a little too thin. So I'm going to go to line width 3. Whoops. There we go. And the grid size. The grid size is the size of the compass needles. So let's crank that up a little bit to 40 and hit compass needles, and notice that these have gotten bigger, and now we can show both. So that's how basically the parameters on the upper right hand side is used. You can just change your settings and replot as needed. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the example that was in the first 5 slides. We'll hit create drawing, which clears the screen, and then we'll put the North Pole in, and we'll do a draw cube, and our draw size is already at 10 millimeters, so that's what we need. Okay, so I could eyeball this. I can guess where to put this, but actually the Pic2Mag program has a setting where we can put it in by parameters. So I'm going to put in X and Y. So in this case, it's I want -20, comma 0, and that basically is center of the screen, then go 20 millimeters to the left hand side. And now I'm going to do the South Pole. So I'm going to hit the blue button for south, and we're already drawing the cube, hit the square for the cube. And you can see I can place this in here anywhere I want to, but I'm going to put it in precisely at 20, 0, which is 20 millimeters to the right of the center of the screen. Oh, speaking about axis, so vertically up and down is the y-axis, left and right is the x-axis, into the screen and out of the screen is the z-axis, which you know, if we're looking down right now, the positive z is coming at the observer, and negative z is going into the page. Okay, so we have precisely placed our magnets, and we'll go ahead and just calculate the field. And you can see the percentage go up as the calculation is done. Again, this only took 10 seconds. But there's some parameters that's wrong here. Remember I said I needed to set the glass thickness? I have not done so. So let's do so. So the distance from the surface of the magnet to the layer that we're trying to read would be, and it gives us a message saying this will slow down the calculation. And that's true the first time you use it. Anytime you do, like, change your distance from 3 to 4. The first time you use the program, it will slow down doing the 4, but then it will gain the speed back up. That's because the program caches its calculations. It saves them in the temporary files. So, the first time you use it slow, the second time you use it, it gets faster. Okay, so we're going to 6 millimeters above the surface. And the thickness, normally we leave the thickness to 1 millimeter because these are inverse square fields, which means the first millimeter of your magnet makes a major contribution. Over 50% of the contribution of the vector field is made by the first millimeter. So if you're just playing around or you're just trying to get ideas by drawing different magnetic arrays, it makes sense to leave the thickness to 1. But on the other hand, if you have an actual magnet array that you're trying to duplicate, then we need to set that to the correct setting. And so the thickness of the cube magnets are now set to 10 millimeters. Everything else looks correct. We can calculate the field. And you'll notice that our status screen, well, it didn't take too long. Normally the wait would show up for a minute or two as it makes a new library file. In this case, it only took 10 seconds to run. Okay, so we have 50 ISO lines. That looks correct. We have a line width of 3. Looks about right. Our grid size, I'm going to knock that down to about 25 and plot the compass needles. And that shows your field direction. And then I'm going to do both. And so we have both magnitude and we have direction on the screen. And the last step is to save the work. Now, if we're just worried about the plotting, if we calculated the field because we just want the plots, then all we have to do is hit save. Okay, so when we save the file, when we save the plots, we can use any name we want. I'm going to call this one dipole. And that will save 5 different versions of our plots when we hit save here. The other things, we don't need to do it, but we could also export the field if we wanted to re-import it later. And the last thing we can do is we can clearing the vector data gets rid of all the vectors in memory. And it says, do we want to delete the cache files to save space? Normally the system will delete them on their own, but you can always delete the cache files to make more room. And that concludes the first training video of the Pic2Mag free version. Thank you for your time.